Hello, Bible readers. Where do I even begin? That's what I've been asking myself for months now. Ever since I completed the big year-long online Bible study for First Lutheran and, of course, anybody else who wanted to watch, I've been asked to go deep into Revelation. So I did Genesis. And it was good, very good. That's a Genesis reference, if you don't know. But seriously, I really enjoyed that study. I learned so much. The commentary I used from Walter Brueggemann was incredible. I'm still using things I learned from that study in my preaching and my teaching and my ministry in whole. When I got done with the Genesis study, some of you asked again that I do Revelation next, so I did Exodus. And again, a great resource, actually two resources from Walter Brueggemann, and again, it blew my mind. I mean, it really did. I didn't know, for example, that the slaves who are freed from Pharaoh in Egypt are not all sharing an ethnicity as they leave town, but that they're a mishmash of humanity who shared persecution more than any uniform skin color or ethnic background. It was stuff like that that got me excited about posting another piece from the text day after day. Well, that was last spring. And now it's time to dive deep into another text. And guess what I've heard since then? Do Revelation, Pastor. So now I relent. One of the reasons I was leery, and there are many reasons actually, about doing Revelation was that I felt like this is a part of the Bible that's honestly gone over my head, always, ever since I first tried to read it as a confirmand in my teens. And that's not to say it isn't a good idea to learn more, of course, but to have the audacity to teach from it, the more I thought about it, the more I kept coming back to something I have found to be very true, that I learned best by teaching. Because putting my face and voice in your phone or whatever device you're using every day, well, I don't want to waste your precious time, so I'm going to be prepared. And in order to be prepared, I'm going to read and I'm going to learn for myself so I can share with you. So let's take this Revelation leap together. Turns out it is good that we did Genesis and Exodus first. Revelation's author uses both of those books a lot. Uses actually the whole Old Testament quite a bit. And it turns out we don't need to be as intimidated by this letter as I oftentimes have been in my past. It's actually not as unique, strange, or weird as I sometimes thought it was. And it is strange and weird, for sure, but not like I thought it was. Now, I'm not suggesting that I'm going to use this online Bible reader study to explain Revelation away or tell you every answer about Revelation's symbology, storytelling methods, or any other mystery, really, but I promise to bring good questions to this text. Questions the text is built to consider, and they're not all my questions. They're going to be questions that people way smarter than me have asked from Revelation. I promise to shed light on a genre of writing and a context that are both mostly unknown to us. I mean, how familiar can normal people like us be with the genre apocalyptic? This is not a romance novel or a novel even, or a gospel that we might be more familiar with, or a murder mystery. We know how those go, or a 3-act play, or a history. It is an apocalyptic letter written to 7 churches in Asia, but not the Asia that you probably are thinking of when I say Asia. Even that term meant something a little different in 96 when it was written than it means 1,927 years later. So yes, I will try to shed some light on the author, the context, the storytelling methods, the original recipients of the letter, as well as try to imagine what the church can and maybe should not do with it now. And that gets at something pretty important. There's actually a lot of things that people have done with this letter, Revelation, over the centuries that have actually been pretty harmful, spiritually harmful, have also ended up doing harm to relationships, to the church itself, and definitely to our earth. I'll be getting into all that too. For this first day or night, or I don't know when you're watching this, I'd like you to start this journey that we're beginning together with this post. I would like you to start by reading the whole letter aloud. It takes about an hour. And if you don't want to read it aloud to yourself, what would be even better is if you'd listen to me, or really anybody else, read it to you. Because it's a letter, like it's meant to be heard by its recipient. So that's the first thing that I want to teach about this letter, is that it was written in a time when there were no screens. Like people didn't touch each other's imaginations or motivate people or persuade people. They didn't communicate with computer graphics or crazy visual displays. They communicated with words. And those words communicated best through poetic imagery and vibrant verbal symbols, so that you in your mind, so that the listener in their mind could create their own crazy visual displays in their mind's eye. So between now and tomorrow, go to my second post on this Bible reader thread. It's going to serve as post 2. And I'm going to have it drop, I think, on a Tuesday. So this first one is dropping on a Monday. But go to the second post on this Bible reader thread and simply listen to the whole letter. If you want to listen to an actual reading professional, you could do that too. I'm sure there's lots of things you could listen to instead of me, whether it's James Earl Jones doing the King James Version, I guess. I'd rather you listen to the New Revised Standard Version. That's the one I'll be reading, but there's lots of versions, obviously. So that's the assignment. We're gonna get this thing started by first experiencing the listening to of this letter. Remember, I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.